Hi everybody, I am Delane Cleveland from CCX News. The calendar has now reached July, which means that we are in the middle of summer festival season. And here on this very stage on Wednesday, July 10th, Maple Grove Days will kick off with a concert honoring military veterans. It's one of dozens of events that will be taking place throughout the run of the festival. Today we'll tell you about a few of those events to look forward to, including one that proves that you don't necessarily need fabric to make clothes.
Do you want to practice making fabric, or what's usually kind of your system?
In the summer months, kids have no shortage of options to help pass the time.
You can make your patterns and add that little extra for like a seam allowance for when you're going to tape it together and it's going to overlap.
For example, these three girls from Maple Grove signed up for a fashion design workshop involving a material you wouldn't normally associate with clothing.
You make an entire outfit out of duct tape however you want to.
It may not be the most practical skill in the world.
It is kind of cool.
But it could win these girls some prize money if they're lucky.
I hope so. I think I have a good feeling about it.
Madison Jellin is referring to the Duct Tape Fashion Show, which is one of the highlights of Maple Grove Days. Jellin and her two friends got a head start on the design process thanks to Alexa Gruber.
Actually, working with pleats is not hard at all.
She happens to be a four-time champion of the fashion show, and she brought one of her creations along to serve as inspiration.
You get quick, and I still sew a lot, so you know the pattern pieces you need, so you just crank it out.
The girls aren't quite at that level just yet, but one thing they have going for them is that the world of duct tape has evolved since the last time Alexa competed for a title.
They have cat-printed duct tape. There was no cat-printed duct tape 10 years ago. That was not a thing.
Yet who needs cat-printed duct tape when you have a group of kids with vivid imaginations?
It's our wavy design for the cheerleading skirt that we are doing.
These girls have decided they want to look like Maple Grove cheerleaders.
This is like the skirt idea that I was talking about. That's so cool.
And Alexa is teaching them the tricks of the trade.
I used to sketch for like a couple of weeks of just all the different ways of doing things. It's a lot of kind of reverse engineering with it.
It remains to be seen just how well the girls will do when it comes time for the fashion show, but with help coming from a pro, at least they're in good hands.
It's really cool, especially since she's had so many years of experience.
The winner of the Duct Tape Fashion Show receives $50. It all goes down on Saturday, July 13th at 2:15 in the afternoon here at the Town Green. Meanwhile, if you think a duct tape fashion show is a quirky event, there's another event happening that same evening where people do some pretty unique things with beds, all while helping out a good cause.
And this is fairly simple carpentry work.
At a young age, kids are taught to play with building blocks.
Oop, now we're over about 1/4 of an inch.
When some of those kids become grown men, they evolve to using power tools and piles of wood.
As a guy, it's fun to put things together.
Putting things together is an annual tradition for these members of the Maple Grove Rotary, as they prepare for one of the main events of Maple Grove Days.
Well, we're putting about 8 beds together. For every year we do the bed race, and we break them down after the bed race and put them into storage, and then we haul them back out and get them ready for the bed race and the parade.
Every year during Maple Grove's annual festival, the city closes off Main Street and lets teams race each other in these makeshift beds on wheels. All of the registration fees for the event support the Rogers nonprofit organization, Cross. And in the fall, these Rotary members will put together real beds that will go to children in need.
Hopefully a kid gets a good night's sleep from it and feels some love that have more economic challenges.
But for now, they're focusing on the task at hand. And much like furniture purchased at IKEA,
I think you have a great idea.
There's some assembly required.
Over the years, there have been some butting of heads.
That's to be expected when you have a volunteer organization consisting of strong leaders. However, this annual bed assembly night is a labor of love for the Maple Grove Rotary, because in the end, their hard work will touch dozens of lives.
We enjoy that, and we enjoy the camaraderie and bad jokes.
Maple Grove Days is usually comprised of fun and games, but this year's celebration will have a unique feature. Here at Central Park, a dream that's been 3 years in the making will finally come to fruition.
We need to treat all of our veterans with honor and respect,
they took time out of their lives to make sure we're free, so we have to respect that.
On the southwest corner of Maple Grove Central Park, there's a collection of cement slabs and newly laid sod surrounded by a chain link fence.
The best way to not have a war is to learn about war.
It may not look like much now, but come July 14th, this construction site will be a full-fledged Veterans Memorial Park.
They'll have all the different medallions for the different branches. There'll be walls up over here for the different wars, starting at the Civil War all the way through Afghanistan and Iraq.
Joel Skagerberg is Maple Grove's Beyond the Yellow Ribbon co-chair. For the past 3 years, the organization has been working with the city to make this vision become a reality.
There's no Veterans Memorial or any memorial park in Maple Grove. We're a big city and no place to really honor our veterans, no place to go and remember what they've done for us.
Supporters officially broke ground on the project this past April. Since then, construction crews have been hard at work, making sure that the memorial will be ready for the dedication ceremony during Maple Grove Days. Skagerberg hopes people of all ages attend.
You're going to see something you haven't seen before. You're going to see a lot of different military families. It's a good time to take time and actually thank those veterans, because there'll be a lot of veterans here.
Veterans whose names will forever be etched in stone at one of the city's most popular destinations. The total cost of the project will be roughly $260,000, with much of the money being raised from the sale of engraved bricks and other donations. The official dedication ceremony will take place here at Central Park on Sunday, July 14th at 1 p.m. For a full list of all the Maple Grove Days events, you can go to mgco.org.
Minnesota is a hotbed for hockey, and USA hockey programs are often held in the state. 3 young players from the northwest suburbs match skills with some of the country's best in their age group. It's an impressive group of players. The USA Hockey Girls 16 and 17-year-old National Development Camp in St. Cloud included a healthy dose of Minnesota players. For Wayzata's Sophie Urban, Maple Grove's Tristana Tater, and Breck's Emily Zumwinkle, it's a thrill to be included.
I always love coming out of these camps because you always meet so many new people from all over the country, and it's actually been super fun because for the past 3 years or so I've actually had the same girl from Alaska been on my team for the past 3 years, so it's fun to come out here every year and get to see her.
Yeah, it's a great experience just seeing all your competition all around the country and just meeting new people and seeing their different culture around the country and just meeting new people. It's really fun.
Yeah, this is such an amazing experience, to play with girls all over the country. It's so cool.
All 3 of the local girls have been to past select camps. With the high level of play, the game moves fast, and it isn't easy to dominate. That's all part of the learning curve.
Yeah, I think it's just all about moving the puck, creating chances for your teammates, and everyone knows they're good out there, so you just gotta play with the good players and make plays.
Yeah, I think it makes everyone make their style of play go faster, which makes it difficult, but also at the same time makes you a better player.
Whether it be USA hockey reps or college coaches, plenty of eyes are focused on the players. That can be nerve-wracking, but the local girls say it's all part of the experience.
It definitely does add a little bit of added pressure, but I do try my best to just ignore them and just go out there and have fun.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows they're out there and everyone's watching you, but at the end of the day, you got to play your game and play it to your best potential and put everything out there.
They're impressive on the rinks in the northwest suburbs. And Tater, Urban, and Zumwinkle showed they can compete with the best in the USA. Next is the girls' 15-year-old development camp running July 12th through 17th again at St. Cloud State. A handful of local players have also been selected for that camp. A lot of anglers find success using wacky worms to hook large and smallmouth bass. Terry Tuma offers more advice on this topic in this week's CCX Sports Fishing Tip.
I've had several questions about fishing wacky worms, so I thought I would address those again, even though we talked about it in previous programs. But the wacky worm is really a go-to lure, especially for a neutral to tough bite fish. We're talking bass, of course, largemouth and smallmouth, but really I do use either what's called a General by Berkeley or a power sinking minnow. This individual recently asked me what length. I usually stay with that right around that 5-inch. Not a lot of good results with the 4-inch, but there's going to be certain situations situation where you do want to use a 4-inch. And then too, you can get wacky worm jigs as shown right here. And I use a jig for more aggressive fish, rougher water due to wind, and also deep water. It works very, very well. And then the plain hook, a wacky worm hook, also shallower fish and a slow reaction bite, if you will, instead of a tougher bite. And then too, what we have to understand here is that you do not just cast out and retrieve it. You can use a lift and drop. You can leave it lay on the bottom. In fact, especially with a plain hook, it just use a dead stick approach, also extremely productive. In fact, we've had great success here recently with some pretty nice bass. So give this wacky worm a try, working with different colors. Generally speaking, the pumpkin seed and the green pumpkin are going to be one of your most productive. Casting right to the edge of the weeds and even away from the reeds, or if you're working some riprap areas for smallmouth, some rocky areas for smallmouth, also a very, very productive technique, and a presentation needs to vary. Be sure to give it a try. You'll be very, very surprised at the wonderful success you'll have fishing for largemouth and smallmouth bass.
Thanks, Terry, and that is all for sports. More news in a moment.